All right, shalom, shalom. This is your brother Issachar coming back at you with another lesson. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakak Radash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect and the 144,000 scattered across the four corners of the earth. Shalom to you. All right, in today's lesson, we're going to go into, how America, all right, Babylon is going to be destroyed in 1 hour. Okay, how the United States, okay, Babylon, according to the scriptures, is going to be destroyed in 60 minutes. Okay, 1 hour. And we're going to go to Revelation chapter 18, verse 1. And we're going to go all the way down to the 24th verse. All right, all the way to verse 24. We're going to get, this whole chapter here. All right. And, give you this breakdown, because in this chapter, this is where the Lord tells us through John the Revelator, okay, his prophet, that, the Lord is going to destroy America in 60 minutes. And that's literal, It's not like the hour of temptation where it's going to be a season, a time of testing. It's going to be, this is a literal 60 minutes, 1 hour. Revelation chapter 18, verse 1. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried with the might, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, America is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils. Meaning, like the snakes, lizards, stuff like that, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage and of every unclean and hateful bird. Yeah, such as like, vultures, owls. They're gonna be the only thing that's gonna remain here, desert creatures, and like unclean birds. They're like vultures, owls. Verse 3, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. Right, because this whole world has followed the ways of America, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. See that? Because, this whole world's on that, that vibration. Oh, get along to go along. So they're all, committing fornication with America. And her merchants of the earth are waxed rich. Okay, through the abundance of her delicacies. Abundance, yeah, because this is why Americans are so prideful, because, America has more than enough. More than the heart can wish. Because abundance means, you got leftovers, you got more than what you need. Verse 4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. See that? Because the Lord is going to beam up the hopeful elect, remember, into those ships, okay, the spaceships. You see? That ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Right, because all kinds of plagues are about to hit America. All kinds of plagues, And the cherry on top is going to be the ICBMs, destroying all 5,000 square miles from the west coast to the east coast. Verse 5, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High Yahweh hath remembered her iniquities. Very, very important right there, okay? For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High Yahweh hath remembered her iniquities. Verse 6, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill her double. So what America has been doing around the world, sending economic hitmen, they send in, CIA and MI6, to destroy leaders and stuff like that, because if America can't get their way, they'll send in economic hitman, stuff like that, CIA, MI6, and they'll straight, they'll take down like the current president or leader of that country or nation, and then set up their own puppet leader, and steal all the land's resources. See, and they've been doing that to a lot of people worldwide. See that? So this is why America is going to be destroyed very, very terribly. Verse 7, how much she had glorified herself. Right. Okay? Because America is full of pride. Okay? They don't glorify the Lord. Okay? It doesn't matter how much these presidents, lie to you. Okay? These presidents of America they're all satanic. Okay? They're all Freemasons. You see? They're on the left hand side. They worship Satan and Baphomet. Make no mistake. All right. In this world, you guys are about to see what the Lord is gonna do to Donald Trump. Okay, because hey, you guys can hate all you want. Okay, but just hold on to your notes and watch what the Lord is gonna do to Donald Trump. Right now, he may have the stage for a little while to bring the ruckus, but that don't mean the Lord's with him. He's gonna use him, but you're gonna see what's gonna happen to these for those of you that make it that long. Okay, you're gonna see, what the Lord is gonna do to because like Biden, if he's still alive, Obama, okay, Trump, all right, you guys are gonna see what the Lord and the angels are gonna do to them, because you guys can talk shit all you want. But you guys are gonna see, because the Lord is he's not with them. Yeah, he's using them. These elites, they have the stage for a little while, to cause chaos, but their judgments are still coming. This is why Psalm 91, only with thy eyes, shall thy see the reward of the wicked. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen to these leaders around the world. That's saying that they're with the Lord and all that. All right, that's cool. You can, hey, go ahead and lie to the world, but you can't lie to the hopeful elect. Verse 7, how much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she had said in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Right. Verse 8, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine. See that? Because it's going to be very, very bad here. The plagues. Remember, like 2nd Ezra, okay, tells us the Lord's going to plague Egypt with plagues as before. Okay? So this is something that, is going to be very, very terrible here in America. Okay? Verse 8, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine. Because a lot of people are getting ready to starve out here. A whole lot. And she shall be utterly burned with fire. That she's talking about America is going to be. So how is America going to be burnt? Okay, with ICBMs. But, you're going to have this race wars, civil wars. Okay, so America is going to be on fire. Okay, this is what the Lord says. I come to bring fire on earth, but what would I if it already be kindled? Okay, because the Lord is going to bring, lasers, activate those ICBMs. But this, remember, right here in America and different parts of the world, our enemies are going to be killing each other, for civil wars, sedition, civil unrest. It's going to be going down out here. Yep. See? For strong is the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Shai, who judgeth her. Right. Strong is the Lord. So make no mistake, the Lord's not letting America go. It don't matter how you slice it, You say, well, I don't agree with that. Well, that's your opinion. That's just your opinion. You're just in your emotions, but that don't mean that that's scripture or that's facts. Verse 9, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication. Verse 9, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Right. So these other nations are going to be crying out for America, but not because they love America, but because America is going to be uh, America is their cash cow. All these heathens are making good money off America because America is the biggest consuming nation in the world. You see? All right, verse 10. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, at last, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. Right. Okay. So right here is the very first time. Okay. Revelation chapter 18 verse 10. And remember, because it tells us 3 times in this chapter that America is going to be destroyed in 1 hour, 60 minutes. And that's literal. Okay, so right here is the first time. And that number 3 is symbolic, because 3 represents understanding. So understand that the Lord is going to destroy this place in 60 minutes. Revelation chapter 18 verse 10, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying at last of her torment, because you got to imagine, all 5,000 square miles, you know, from the East Coast to the West Coast. All right, it's all gonna be destroyed. It's all gonna be eviscerated. Can you imagine? You know, I believe it's Malachi chapter 4 verse 1. When it says that the day shall burn like an oven, and it's not even gonna live. The Lord's not even gonna leave, one stick. There's not even gonna be one branch, one stick. There's not gonna be one abandoned car. You're not gonna see like an old bridge. You know, no, an old building. It's Everything is gonna be eviscerated. There's not even gonna be one stick left. Not even one stick. Not even one branch. Not even one tree remaining. You're talking about complete overkill. Or here in America, it's gonna be that bad. Saying at last, verse 10. We'll get it from the top. Revelation chapter 18, verse 10. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment. See? Saying for the fear of her torment, because these nations are going to be like, oh crap, because it's going to be very major what the Lord's about to do to America. Saying at last, that great city, Babylon, America, that mighty city, okay, the United States, for in 1 hour, 60 minutes is thy judgment come. Right? Because the leaders here worship Baphomet and Satan. But that's fine. But that means it's death to you. Gave death to you, cave dwellers. And it's good for you. Verse 11. Verse 11. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her. See? Because for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. So the only reason why these other nations are going to be crying for America is not because, they love America, America was their friend. No, it's because these nations are making bank off America. Because these fellow simpletons, these Americans, these Babylonians, okay, all they do is consume, consume, consume. You see? Verse 12. You see them. what's coming up right now? Christmas time, right? Which is demonic. That's the celebration of Nimrod and Tammuz. Okay, shit, and that's just the way people are, and they're out here, every weekend. People want to go shopping. They want to buy 15 to 25 pairs of shoes, you know, which is crazy, you know. You see, people just want to go shopping just for the hell of it, just to consume. See, verse 12. So these nations are making money because Americans, they just want to shop, just buy, buy. So these other nations are like, well, fuck it, we're gonna sell our product because all these stupid Americans, all they do is just they just shop and shop. So shit, why not? Why not make some money? You see? Verse 12. The merchandise the merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all thine wood and all manner vessels of ivory and all manner vessels of the most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beast and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men. Okay, because that's all found here, all right, in America. Because all 12 tribes were all in slavery here together at the same time, the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom. And the fruits that, verse 14, and the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all, because everything here is about to be wiped out. The merchants of these things, which were made rich by her, see? So how are these nations getting rich? Off America. See, because America is the strongest. America is the strongest. The number one consuming nation in the world. See, because people here, they just all they're doing is just buying food, buying snacks, going shopping, just for the hell of it. So shit, these other nations are making bank. See, you'll see, like, when you go to the malls, you'll see like the heathen, they'll be selling like their product and all that stuff because they're making money. Because they see like, damn, these Americans, all they do is shop and buy. So these heathens are like, shit, well, fuck, let's make a business right here. Because shit, they're getting rich off these stupid Americans. See, the merchants of these which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing. Right, for the fear, once again, because they're going to be in fear, because the Lord's going to destroy America so bad that it's going to people, for the fear of her torment, because it's not no light thing what's going to happen here. It's not no light thing. It's not no light thing. It's going to be it's very, very heavy of what's about to happen out here. What's about to happen to America. Verse 16, and saying, at last, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. Verse 17, all right, here's the second time that the Lord tells us by John the Revelator that America is going to be destroyed in 60 minutes, 1 hour, 1 hour. And like Apostle Gabar says, that's some serious destruction. You imagine? 1 hour, 60 minutes. A lot of people can't even make it home from work in 1 hour because of traffic. Imagine that. 1 hour. 1 hour, that's it. It's finito. It's gone. Finished. You can stick a fork in it, baby. Yeah, oh yeah. You can stick a fork in America. This place is done. Verse 17, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. See? Because America, I mean, look at America's military. Shit, you know? Look at their aircraft carriers compared to everybody else. Look at how much they got compared to everybody else. So America, you know, America has it like that. But the Lord's about to destroy this place. You know? That's why the world's going to be like, damn, in terrible fear. You know, torment. Because I'm like, damn, you know? Because look at how strong America is. And the Lord's about to, wipe this whole out in 1 hour. 1 hour, baby. So imagine the world's going to be like, damn, you know? Because America is a force to be reckoned with. Make no mistake. You know? I don't care what you're talking about. Okay, America still has a very, very powerful military. All right? Although America's $1 trillion in debt, shit, don't matter. Okay, their military is the strongest military in the world. Yeah, Russia and China may have, you know, their, a little bit better ICBMs or whatever. You know, Russia has better ICBMs, but remember, yeah, America's Babylon the Great. America has the good shit. Okay, America has stuff that, you know, they haven't told the world. But come on, America's Babylon the Great. We'll leave it right there. You see? Verse 17. For in 1 hour is so great riches is come to naught. 60 minutes, baby. And every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off and cried when they saw her the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? Because it's going to be, you know, it's going to be a time like never before, and the Lord's going to judge America. Okay, it's not just coming from Russia, China, NATO. Okay, what you guys can read in Revelation chapter 17. Okay, how even America's allies, because remember, the Lord is raising up the whole world against America. Okay, even America's allies in NATO are gonna shoot their ICBMs over here. It's gonna be that catastrophic, that bad. It's gonna be that bad. Verse 19, and they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, at last, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships and in the sea. Yeah, because look at America's aircraft carriers compared to China. You know, by reason of her costliness. Yeah. This is the third time. Okay, for in 1 hour is she made desolate. So this is the third time, okay, that the Lord tells us through John the Revelator that America is going to be destroyed in 1 hour. And remember, what does that 3 represent? Understanding. So understand, Akim Aqua, that America is going to be destroyed in 60 minutes. Verse 20, rejoice over her, thou heaven, ye holy apostles and prophets. Okay, let's get this from the top. Damn, right here. So rejoice. All right, rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets. For the Most High Yahweh hath avenged you on her. So this is why we don't gotta buy guns and we don't gotta worry about our enemies, because Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is about to kill all of them. Okay, America is gonna be completely destroyed by Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and the angels. See, you know. So this is why we don't gotta we're rejoicing, because the Lord got our enemies surrounded. Yeah, they may be mad. They may be working 24 hours around the clock. That ain't gonna change a damn thing. You know? Remember, the Lord's stepping in now. See? America and the wicked around the world, you guys gotta pay that tab. You know? You guys, the left-hand side, you still got the stage right now for a little while. You know, but that's just a small little window. And after that, the Lord's he's really gonna bring the ruckus. He's gonna lay you clowns down. Verse 21, and the mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone. Okay, that great millstone. Okay, because it's non-stop. You know, it's always working, always grinding. Okay, and cast it into the sea, saying, hey, thus with violence shall that great city be thrown down. Yeah, because right here, people just work until they die. You know, and These Babylonians, Americans, now they're trying to figure out, like, damn, I'm just working to survive. I just work just to pay. I live just to pay bills. It's like, yeah, it's because the wicked are ruling. This is why it's like that. Because a lot of people may be like sick. Because even nurses right now, you know, are because like they're struggling. You got nurses, RNs that are living in their cars. That's how bad it is right here in America. Because they don't care about the American people. Remember, the leaders here are going for the New World Order and what the satanic agenda. Remember that. This is why people are in these difficult situations. They're like, damn, how could we can't even live? Housing's gone up. I mean, this is getting crazy now, right? It's getting stupid. But that's all right. That's because America's about to be destroyed. That's okay. Thus, with violence shall that great city, America, Babylon, be thrown down. Yeah, because how did America come to pass? Okay, how did the so-called white man get America? They stole it. They stole it from our fellow brothers and sisters. Okay, the tribe of Gad, tribe of Reuben, Issachar. Remember? Okay, Christopher Columbus. Okay, Christopher Cologne. All right, when he was here, he couldn't let down his sword for 1 hour. That's how much killing they were doing. Okay, they were slaughtering our people. See, and that's what a lot of these people just celebrated was Thanksgiving. You know, that's the celebration of killing our fellow brothers and sisters. You see, but that's all right. You know, because you heathens and Edomites, you guys are next. And we're gonna make we're gonna have celebrations and stuff like that. Yeah, that's okay. Because yeah, you guys are next, so that's all right. That's all right. Because we're coming to the end of this thing, baby. And remember, the heathens and the Edomites, you guys are next. So it's all right. Because we just got to endure a little bit more. But remember, we got next, so that's all right. It's fine. But we're looking forward to having all you heathen in full subjection, and shall be found no more at all, because America is going to be completely destroyed from the west coast to the east coast, all 10 FEMA regions. Verse 22, and the voice of harpers and musicians and pipers and trumpeters shall be heard no more at all in thee, and no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee, and the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee. Okay? Because there's going to be no more work out here, and that's coming real soon. Akim and Akwath, these second, more lockdowns and shutdowns. Okay, remember, there's not going to be no more work out here. And remember, once they no digital ID, no work. No RFID microchip, no work. You're not going to be able to drive these cars. You're not going to be able to live in those houses, apartments, unless you have the RFID microchip. So how do you like that? How you like them apples, Because these UN troops, these New World Order police are going to go around house to house. Those of you that don't have the RFID microchip are going to get dragged, you and your family, to a concentration camp and get your head chopped off by guillotine. Yep, it's about to get very gruesome out here. So those of you people that do have houses, you're about to be dragged out. You're about to be dragged out by UN troops. Okay, androids, drones. It's about to be very, very real out here. Remember, okay, it's not just us, the Israelites, who are being oppressed here. Okay, these fellow American citizens, you guys are next. Remember, these elites, they're going for the New World Order. They don't give a damn about the American citizen. Yep, and you're about to see even our enemies, okay? Because these elites, they even want to take out their own people. They want to take out the Edomites and the heathens, a certain portion of them, because they want to do something called depopulation. So they want to reduce the people out here, even our enemies, even their own people. Okay, they want to reduce it to 500 million. Okay, there's roughly around 8 billion people on the earth, and they want to get down that number to 500 million. Look at how many people they plan to kill, and they're gonna go for it. Remember, they're gonna wipe out even the so-called white man. You know, not all of them, but the copper tops. You know, you guys are going too. You know, the heathens. You guys are going in those camps too. Let's, you know, just because the New World Order, they already have their few selected. You know, if you're not part of that small club, they're coming for you. You know, facts. Verse 23, and the light, and remember, the elect, the angels are going to protect you in these days, you know? Yeah, it don't matter, you know, what the enemy got, you know? Remember, the angels are out here, okay? The hopeful elect are going to be protected, all right? And remember, there are going to be a few martyrs, so just, you know, that way, you know, when these times are approaching, you may get tossed in a concentration camp, you know, whatever. You may see a brother or sister get their head chopped off for the word, and you're like, hey man, they're a believer. What happened? You know, remember there are gonna be a few martyrs, but those souls are gonna go out like Stephen. You know, they're gonna those are special spirits where they're very strong. Remember, the Lord's gonna sup with them, you know, and they're gonna be able to go all the way. You know, verse 23, and they're gonna glorify the Lord. Verse 23, and the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom, okay, and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. Okay, for thy merchants were great, were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. Booyah. Okay, for by thy sorceries. So who are these leaders? They're sorcerers, witches. They're wizards, witches, and warlocks. Okay? For by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. This is why now the world is coming up against America, because America screwed over the world. Okay? Yep. See? So for, right here, it's talking about America. Okay? For by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. See? You know? Because this place is ran by witches and warlocks. You know, so they're deceiving the whole world except the hopeful elect. You know, we see right through you witches and warlocks like Scotch tape. You know, you see, verse 24, and in her was found the blood of prophets and of the saints. Okay, remember the saints goes to the Israelites, man, because there's a lot of Israelite blood here, and of all that were slain upon the earth. All right, so let's go to the the ICBMs. Right here, okay. You know, this is what's hey, this is what's going to be shot off. You know, real soon. Okay, right here. You know, these ICBMs right here are gonna completely destroy America, very very soon. You know, and this is the Lord's armies. To all you nations and militaries out there, these are not your missiles. They do not belong to you. These belong to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And when the Lord, gives that, that order, okay, he's gonna activate the ICBMs. Okay, the Lord is going to activate the ICBMs. You know, you see, and this is why those. Oh damn! This is why. Yeah. That's right there. These are called the. Oh, that's because you're gonna have all these ICBMs come out of these silos, come out of these these submarines. You know. Oh yeah. You see. All right, so this is why those of you that are like in the army, the military, these militaries, and this is worldwide. Okay, those of you that work around these nuclear bases, okay, you guys see that there's a lot of so-called UFO sightings. Why is that? Because the Lord is sending, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is sending the angels to make sure that you nations are testing these missiles, including Donald Trump, okay, in America. All right, it's not just the Russians and North Korea. No, you guys too. Okay, because remember, the Lord created all of you guys, even you, Trump. Yep, even you. You know? So this is why the Lord has that spirit on you guys. Because the Lord demands perfection. He's making sure that you nations and militaries are getting his missiles ready. Whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not. Okay? And when the Lord gives that command, he's going to have the angels activate those ICBMs. You know? So this is why those of you that work around those nuclear bases, okay, you guys in the military worldwide, okay, you guys very well know that because you guys see a lot of so-called UFO sightings around there. Why is that? It's because the angels are making sure that you guys are getting Yahweh Bashim Yahushai's missiles ready. Remember that, because this is what's going to destroy America. It's going to be the cherry on top, because you're going to have in-house fighting, civil war, famine, martial law, plagues, okay, but the ICBMs are going to be the cherry on top, So with that, that's it on today's lesson on Babylon is going to be, America is going to be destroyed in 60 minutes, 1 hour. So with that, on your feet, soldier, Lord willing, the whole full elect was edified, and, hey, you got to really think about this, really consider it, because this is really going to happen, this ain't no small event that's going to happen. We're entering the second Exodus, we're entering the time of judgment, the second coming. All right, it's a very, it's a very, very serious thing that's going to happen out here, like the time of the flood. This is we're entering the second death. Remember the first time the Lord took everybody out except Noah and 7 others, a total of 8 souls. This time the Lord's only going to save his elect and the very few elite of the heathen, just so they can be first crops into slavery. Everybody else is going to perish. It's a very, very big event that's about to partake out here, For those people who just laugh and don't believe, that's fine. But you ain't going anywhere, So with that, on your feet, soldier, stay in the spirit, stay patient. Shalom.